Chapter 4.2 is getting just a little bit more interesting. But first, we got a bunch of definitions to deal with. Factors. These are numbers you multiply to get another number. And we dealt with this, I believe, in Chapter 1. Prime number. These are numbers with exactly 2 factors. No more and no less. Composite number. These are numbers with 3 or more factors. Prime factorization is breaking down a number into its smaller prime numbers. So if they give you like a multiple choice option, and there happens to be a number that you can break down smaller, it is not a prime factorization of that number. Now, to start with, 0 and 1, these are neither prime nor composite numbers. I don't know what 0 is, but 1 is called a unit. Not unique, but unit. List of prime numbers less than 50 are as follows: 2, 3, 5, 7, yada yada yada. Example of prime. The only way that I can multiply 2 numbers and get the number 2 is to take 1 times 2. Alright? There is no other way of getting 2. Examples of composite. How many ways can I multiply 2 numbers and get 12? And if we go back to the divisibility rules, that would seriously help this. First off, it's even. So I know I can divide it by 2, but first off, I can always divide it by 1, or multiply 1 and 12 and get 12. Well, it's even, so I can divide it by 2. So 2 times 6 will give me 12. Well, 1 plus 2 is 3. So, 3 times 4. As soon as I get to a number that, a set of factors that I can't find something between them that multiplies to give this number we're looking at, I'm done. So I don't have to go any further because there's no number between 3 and 4. So if I list my factors of 12, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Obviously, there's more than 2 in this list. But if I list my factors of 2, I only get 1 and 2. Okay? Prime factorization of 45. Well, it's ending in a 5, so I know I can divide it by 5. So 45 divided by 5 leaves me 9. And then, can I break 9 down smaller? Yes, I can. Into a 3 times a 3. Notice there's never a 1 in this tree that we create. And I always put a prime number on the left and on the bottom. Because if you don't do this, at some point you're going to mess up. Now, this answer, we list it using the smallest number first. And how many 3's do we have? We have 2 of them, and we say times, and then we put a 5. Now, when you're writing this answer in my math lab, you type the 3, and then I would put a times sign, and the times sign can come from the keypad on the left in the program. And then I would put the 5, then I would back it up, and again from the keypad there's a box in there that looks like this. There's a white box here, and then there's a little blue box that's shaded in. You're going to use that, and then you're going to put the 2 in there. Okay? Now, find all of the factors of 45. Well, 1 times 45 is 45, and as we saw here, 5 times 9 is 45. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3. So we can put 3 into that, and that would give us a 15. Can we divide it by 2? No, it's not even. What about 4? Well, that doesn't go into 45 at all. It goes into 44, but not 45. And since there's no 2, we can't divide it by 6. And for the 7s, it's just easier to use the calculator. And 7 goes into 35 and 42, but it doesn't go into 45. And 8 doesn't go into this, so we're back to the 9, and we're done. So our list of factors for 45 would be 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, and 45. Alright, if you've got the ability to, sometimes the program will kick you out, but if you've got the ability to, turn your program off, put it on pause for a little bit, and try answering the next problem. And see if you can get the same answer that I get. So now the prime factorization, it ends in 0, so I know I can divide it by 2. And 2 times 40 gives me the 80. And 40 is still even, so divide it by 2, and that's 20. 20 is still even, so divide it by 2, and that's 10. 10 is still even, so divide it by 2. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. And we can't break 5 down any smaller. So now, writing this, I get 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5. Now, finding all of the factors. And just as I've said in so many of the other videos, if you don't understand this, you seriously need to ask questions now. Now, finding all of the factors of 80. 1 times 80 is 80. 2 times 40 is 80. Does 3 go? Well, 8 plus 0 is 8. And 8 is not divisible by 3, so 3 doesn't go. But 4 goes 20 times. And because it ends in 0, 5 goes. And let's use our calculator to find this. Alright, 80 divided by 5 gives us 16. And since we're in chapter 4, you're allowed to use a calculator. Will 6 go? No, because 3 didn't go. 7, it's just easier to use the calculator. So 80 divided by 7, that's yuck. So no, that doesn't go evenly. 8 goes 10 times, and let's see about 9. No. And the next number would be a 10, and we've already got 10 in the list. So this list looks like 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 16, 20, 40, and 80. So as you can see, listing the prime factorization and finding all of the factors are two totally different processes. Alright? Now, simplifying a fraction just means to divide out the same factor from the numerator and the denominator. By the way, the unspoken rule of fractions is this: always reduce if you can. For example, on 5 divided by 5, they're the same. So 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 5 one time, and 1 divided by 1 is just 1. Alright? Now, what do we know goes into 12 and 20? If you said 2, that's correct, and it would work if we did that, but there's something a little bit bigger. 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 4 goes into 20 5 times. So the 4's are the same, we cancel them, and our answer on this problem is 3/5. Are you okay? Are you with me? Now, on number B, 6 goes into 42 7 times, but we still have that x there. We can't throw him away yet. And 6 will go into 66 11 times. Now when I cancel my 6's, that leaves me a 7x over 11. Now our answer here is a negative. Well, that's even, that's not. 1 plus 0 is 1, not divisible by 3. 4 doesn't go into that. 5 goes into this, but not that one. Guess what? You can't do anything to this. It is already in reduced form. Now I can fix something here already. X to the first power divided by x to the first power already kills themselves. So even though it's a variable, I can already do this. Now, 2 goes into 72 36 times, and 2 goes into 26 13 times. 2 divided by 2 goes away, and we get negative 36 divided by 13. And this one, we got to go back to exponent rules. An x squared means an x times an x. And 6 goes into 60 10 times, and an x cubed means x times x times x. Okay? 6's kill each other, x's kill each other, x's kill each other. Oh crap. What's it on top? Well, remember, a 6 divided by 6 leaves me a 1. And an x divided by an x leaves me a 1. An x divided by an x leaves me a 1. And 1 times 1 times 1 leaves me a 1. And then in the bottom, we're left with 10x. This one is a big fat hairy deal. Oh, and by the way, the only place you're allowed to kill is in math class, and it's only with numbers, not people. Alright? Now, how can I make 1/2 to be 2/4? Well, we already learned that in 4.1. I take 1 over 2 equals 2 over 4. 2 times what gets me 4? Well, 2. And 1 times 2 also gives me 2. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Alright? So we want to take 2 over 5 and make it have a denominator of 25. So I need to find what goes in the numerator. Well, 5 times what gets me 25. If you said 5, that's right. So that gives me 2 times 5 for the numerator. Now, on A, 6 over 24, is that the same as 2 over 8? There are so many ways to hit this problem, but the first thing I'm going to do is use the same idea up here. I'm gonna do it 2 ways. Method 1 and method 2. I'm going to take 6 over 24 and 2 over 8, and I'm going to reduce. I can divide a 6 out of top and bottom. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 24 divided by 6 is 4. And I can divide a 2 out of top and bottom here. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So yes. Now the other way is this. Okay, if I times 8 times what gets me 24? Times 3. And if I multiply the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. And so that gets me 6 over 24, and that equals 6 over 24. So both of these are yes. Well, guess what? 8 over 11 doesn't reduce, and 19 over 26 doesn't reduce. Now, if we did it a different way, we would have to use a method we haven't learned yet. So I'm just going to show you this way. Cross multiply, because one fraction equal to one fraction, you can use this shortcut. So 8, and I'm going to refer to the calculator to save time. 8 times 26 is 208, and is this equal to 11 times 19? Hot dogs. Whoops. Oh no. Oh no. This one's a big fat nope. Because they're really close, but they're not equal. And let me just remind you, if you don't get it, ask.